Good afternoon, everyone. It is Taylor with Tay the Tomboy News, and I have the pleasure of speaking with and getting insight on social media from Mystic Mac, who is a plushie collector that specializes in Squishmallows, Build-A-Bears, and happens to be my lifelong best friend. So this should be really fun, and thank you so much for agreeing to this interview and sitting down and talking with us.
Of course.
How would you describe your social media page and your presence?
I would like to describe it as a very welcome place for people of all ages. I wanted my content to reach anyone who's younger on the internet or even adults. It's a very welcome place regardless of who you are. And it's just a place where I share what I love with other people.
What inspired you to make a social media account and presence?
I've been watching a lot of content creators. Like, a big one I would mention is probably Froggy Crossing, where she does a lot of gaming, and she also collects plushies. If you've seen any of her videos, she has like a whole wall just like I do. But also you have inspired me a lot throughout like our childhood and then your adulthood. Like, I've always watched your content and stuff, and that really inspired me, and just seeing like how accepting people were of your content creation, I was like, wait, so I could actually like do that too? And then I gave it a try.
So I guess well, thank you. I guess the community aspect, how has that been like? I guess like having your own kind of community.
Honestly, it's really cool to have such a, I'd say big community, because it feels like a couple of theaters if you think about it. Like, I have about 1,700 followers right now. So when I put it in perspective, it's like, oh, that could fill like several movie theaters worth of people. But I know it's not like 50,000 or 100,000 or millions like other creators have. Maybe one day, but just having that community of people, they're all so nice and so welcoming and so supportive. I've made some friends that I'll probably keep for the rest of my life through that community. I mean, I've had a couple of negative interactions, but it's the internet, honestly. Like, it's kind of unavoidable.
Yeah, that kind of leads into a question I had as well, is like, how has social media and like the sense of community, I guess the negative aspects of that, and how it's impacted you?
Honestly, I mean, I feel like anyone who posts themselves or anything on the internet is welcome to the negative sides. There are people who will show judgment or like negative opinions, etc., etc. I feel like that's pretty much for anyone. So I have faced some of that, but I've been very grateful to have mostly support in my corner thus far. I think the biggest thing, honestly, is sometimes there's like a certain amount of pressure with content creating when you've created like a group of people, like when you have a following, that you have to keep up with it. And that can easily lead to creative burnout really fast. And that's currently what I'm going through, but it's not something I want to stop. But I do need to take a step back sometimes.
How do you overcome like those challenging aspects of content creation?
I kind of just remind myself why I started to begin with, because I've always been the type of person who wants to impact people in a positive way. So when I first started to get into content creation, I'm like, I'm showing what I love through my own creative way. And that's still what I achieve to do, but it's more of, instead of being influenced by others to like collect so much, I want my collection to reflect what I genuinely love. So it's honestly just like taking that step back, like what I was saying a few minutes ago, and kind of just reflecting on that, reminding myself like, I'm not doing this to like chase the hype. I'm doing this purely out of enjoyment because I love to do it. But it's really easy to get mixed up in all that, so it's hard sometimes.
Yeah. And that kind of also, I had another question about, like, what are your favorite aspects of content creation?
Oh my gosh, I love reading comments. That's easily one of my favorite things, like seeing what people have to say. And then I really enjoy editing. Like, I do a lot of editing with my photos and my videos, specifically like adding sounds to my videos. It makes me laugh. Like, whenever I can make people laugh, I love to make people laugh. And then just like, you know, tweaking the photo just a little bit so the lighting's just right, and just being able to look back to when I scroll through my feed and see all the progress I've made throughout my journey of like when I first started to now. That's also really cool. But I also love supporting other creators, and I get inspired by seeing other people's content all the time, and my the hours I spend on my phone, like my screen time's outrageous.
Oh
but
no. So the last question that I have is, what advice would you give to people who are wanting to start back into content creation or just want to start from scratch from that?
Almost everyone has a phone nowadays. Literally, open that camera app, take a picture, post it. You'd be surprised at how fast you can create a momentum for yourself or anything like that, because that's what I did. I kind of made the account spur of the moment and posted the first photo, which was of one of the first squishmallows I got, which was Malcolm, the little mushroom. And literally just, I posted that picture with like the old mushroom tapestry. Do you remember that I had in my room?
So.
That was the first one I ever posted. It's still on my page. And that it's like tracked, even people now still like it, even though it was like 2 years ago. Honestly, you just start doing it. If you're a person that likes to take pictures like me, you just post it online, and eventually you'll get into the hang of, with your certain niche, there are certain hashtags where you could reach a wider audience. Finding that community or creating that community for yourself also broadens that spectrum to where if you post stuff, it can just take off for all you know. Like, I've had stuff go crazy online before, and I thought it was just like, it's just a picture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But honestly, that's my advice, is to just start. It doesn't have to be perfect. As long as you're happy with it, it's something you love, just do it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that. In conclusion, too, I've noticed, like, definitely, like, you know, I've known you for, I want to say, like, 12 or so years, but maybe even more than that.
Maybe more than that.
And I've definitely seen you, like, grow into your own, and I'm really proud, like,
Aw,
honestly,
thank
like,
you.
and I really, like, love your content and what you choose to do with it. So I just wanted to say thank you for agreeing to this interview.
Of course.